In Java, we have class files and our source file.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch previous videos, you understand what it is. So in the source file is where the programmer writes his code. And when he writes his code, he put it as a Java. Okay. There are different text files. Okay. So that source file is nothing but a .java file as a extension. That's what the source file is. And we also have class files in Java. Okay. And that was the previous classes where we were talking about trying to differentiate these two files. We have in Java, we have Java file, and we have the .class file. This .java file is where you write your code. And in that code, in that source file, is nothing but .java as an extension. And when compiler comes into the picture, it compiles this code, and then you have these .class files. In previous section, we just did some practical scenario of these particular files. Okay, so and there's a rules governing these source files. The first statement of those rules is that the first statement should be a package statement, and there must be only one package statement. So I skip this first and second rules because it's not we have not started doing about packages in Java now. So we skipped that, this first and second rule. The second one was saying that the second statement is there must be a package. You should always import. This is about import statement. We're not doing about packages. All this involved about when we go talking about packages and in hook concepts in Java, we dive into these particular rules. So we then move into the third one, which is managing for us now. The third was saying that there can be only one public class per source file. And the name of that source file should be same of the public class. Okay. So I know that those are in the last section, we understand what we are talking about. I'll try to explain to you that what this third rule is saying is that in a source folder, in a source file where the programmer will write his code, there must be only one public class. And I've explained to you what are access modifiers, what we use public, protected. Can someone tell me what are those access for the modifier we have in Java? For those that was in previous classes.
We have public, we have
Um,
default, we have private, and we have protected. But the basic two that we consider is only public and default in
Default
Java.
in
They are
Java.
the main type of access modifiers.
Frank, I hope you understand what that is, right?
Yes, I understand.
Yes. So everybody will follow. I want so everybody is in the same point with. So for those who are not here, you can watch the video back. You see what this public class is in Java. For you to, there are only two, there are different, there are four access modifiers in Java. We have protected, default, public, and private. So we don't use this private and protected. I've told that you before, private and protected. Those ones are used in the inner class concept. We're going to talk about that in the inner class concept. But what you have in mind is that there are two access modifiers in a class in Java. We have default and public. Okay, but the default statement is not used. The default statement is used in a strict statement in Java. You can't write default class test. This class test is default. No, it's not allowed in Java. This default is used as a strict statement. So that was there what to explain about that. But when I talk about public, this will make this class to be public class, okay? This class is public. We said there can be only one public class in a source file. So in a source file, you can have n number of classes in a source file where you write your code. You can have n number of it where you write your code. We can have home class. Okay. I know you guys know how to how to declare a class in Java. you say class and the name of the class, right? The keyword to declare a class in Java. This is home class. This is a sample class.
Class sample.
Yeah, then there are open and closing curly braces. Okay, so what the third rule is saying that there can be only one public class. Now, this is only one public class in the source folder. Only one public class in the first source folder. And the name of that public class should be the same of the source folder. If you want to name this source now, if you want to name this particular file, it should be the same name. You look at the one that is public here. It's only test class that is public. Then that name of that source folder should be the same as the one that is public in this particular source folder. That's what the third rule is saying. And we do illustration of it. We did illustration of it, how to declare this source folder. And also the third rule was saying that, look at the third rule here, is saying that there can be multiple non-public class. What is saying that there can be n number of public class in it. So it is not, there's no constraint that any source folder there must be public class there. No, there must be n number of classes which is not public. There must be default class. You don't have any constraint that there should be public class in the source folder. No, there must be in a source folder, then it can be default classes in a source folder. For the files with no public class, the name of the source folder can be anything. So all the source folder, all the classes in the source folder that is default, you can pick any name for them. It must not be that particular one that is public. Since it's not public class, it's all defaults. So there can be any name of it. So how do we demonstrate all these things? How to run a Java file. I told you how to run that in a CMD command, okay? So what I do is that to demonstrate the source folder, there can be only one public class in the source folder, and the name of the public class should be the same to that of the source folder. So, and before we start using our editor as to write your code, which is your Eclipse, that I want to teach you how to run it in your normal CMD command, your normal blast screen, your command prompt, using command prompt to run your Java. So now to demonstrate this particular particular rule of declaring a source file, what to do is that I said you should go to your what? You can go to your anywhere, you can save it to your you can even go to your download file, anywhere, you can create it. Okay, you can go anywhere. It doesn't mean you should go. What I use my CMD command. Then on my CMD, my C drive, I then create a folder. Then I create the folder, I can create any name, Frank _ New York or anything. Okay. Yeah, say Java _ badge. Say Java badge, okay. Java, or let me say Java badge 1. In that Java badge 1 now, I have to create a what? A file. Just not normal test file. Okay, in that normal test file, I have to create a public class there and make it public, okay? And then to declare, a keyword to declare class is what? Class, what the name of the class is test, okay? Test
But
class.
there's no public here.
I want to make it public. Let me make it public, okay? Yeah, so demonstrate this first rule, okay? So this one is a public class, okay? Any question with respect to this one? No question, right? Okay, so this is just a public class. So if I close this, you can see that it's just a regular test file, okay? Just a regular test document. So to make this one a Java file, to make it a Java file, what do? If I open this one again and say save as, then what is the first rule it's saying? that the name of this words
Must be the same.
what we say, the name of their source file should be the same as that of the public class.
Public,
The name
yeah.
of that, what is the name of my public class there? What's the name of my public? It's test class, right? It's test.
Yeah.
So we say test.java. Source file is nothing but extension of .java. That makes it a Java file, extension.java. So I will save this thing, all files, and say save. Then when they close this one, back to my source. You can see we have different files here. You have a test.java file. You see that this one is, now look at this test.java. So is this one a source file or not a source file? Frank, is this a source file, Java file or not a Java file? This one is a Java file, right?
Yeah.
Extension.java. Okay. So that means we don't need this one anymore. So just please give me this one. Now I told you now we're in last section. I'll tell you about compilation. All right. What does compiler does? What does compiler does?
Compiles the code now.
It compiles the code. So you see, now we are written our code right here. Okay, we have written this our code. Okay, now it's time for us to compile it as this compiler. Okay, we want to compile this code. So compiling this code, what is it? What is the command to compile the code? Command to compile the code. What do we do?
You write Java, Java C, then space, the name of the source file with extension.
Name of the source file. Name of the source file is text. The name of the source file.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to compile the source going to compile this. So command to compile is Java C, name of the source file with extension. Name of the source file is text with extension test.java. Okay, so that is how to compile this particular code. How to compile this particular code. All right, we say test Java C test.java. Okay, so we're going to compile this particular code now. We're going to compile this code. So compiling this code now, you go to your C drive. Shortcut to go to your C drive, you go to this address bar where this particular folder, this particular file is. This particular folder is in C drive, okay? In C drive, is in this my Java _badge 1 is in my C drive, okay? And then we have our test.java. So we're going to compile this particular test.java, okay? So we go to this address bar and type cmd, press enter. You see that I'm now in my Java _badge _1 is my C drive. Okay. So now what we do now, we're going to compile this particular Java file. We say Java what? What is compilation command?
Java C, then increase
space,
then test.java.
Then press enter. So once you don't see any error in between this oval, okay, when you don't see any error in this, so that means your compilation was what? Successful. And you can see that we have two files here. We have what? Test.class and test.java. Okay, so that's what this is talking about when we say compilation comes in. When compiler comes into the picture, we have what? Test.class file is being generated. Okay, compiler comes into the picture, we have test class, you have it .class file being generated. And you can see that when you go to this text, if you try to open this, C++, no plot, you see that it's not readable by human. You see, it's not readable because what? When compiler comes into the picture, it combines into what? To byte code. Basically, working on the Java is divided into two parts. I write the code in .class Java file, okay, which is readable by a human. When you compile, the compiler comes into the picture, okay. So Compiler then compiles the code and convert it to bytecode. Bytecode is what you see right here that is not readable by what? By humans. So don't worry about that. So everything you're going to be doing, you'll be doing it under what? Java file, which is this is where you write your code. Okay. So anyone have any question respect to that?
Can you
Frank,
show
any
the place?
question? You say what?
Can you show the place where you wrote that CMD command before? I just want to check.
CMD command. This is where you write your CMD command.
Okay.
The CMD command is here on your address bar. You go to here and write CMD and press enter.
Okay. Okay.
It's where you write CMD command. Okay. Now, after compilation, what do we have? We have what? The class file is being generated from .java file. Okay, we can see the name of the class is what? Test.class. Test.class. Okay, and if we try to open this, you can see that you have what? If you try to open this, I showed you before, you see that this is not what will not be able to read the class file because class file is not human readable form because class file contains bytecode and bytecode is not human readable. Okay, so don't too worry about that because whatever modification we'll be doing it in our words in our .class file. So let's do one more thing. Okay, let's open this the class Java file again. And then we'll do one more thing here. Okay. Now let's do one more thing. Let me add one more class here. Let me call this one. Let me do one more thing here. Oops, sorry. Let me call this one home class, right? Home class. And then and let me put here, let me make it public. Okay. So can someone tell me now? You guys are three here. Can someone tell me, Frank or Abraham, these are being in class. Is this a valid source file or not a valid source file? If I compile this in now, will I go to get a compilation error? Let's assume that by mistakenly, we don't have idea about that. By mistake, I did that and I want to compile this file. So what will happen? What will compiler do? We have a compilation error or will we be able to execute this particular Java file?
I think it will have a compilation error.
Frank, why? Frank, what's yours? Why?
Because you're having two public. It should be one public.
It should one public file, right?
Yeah.
Because as per the rule, what is the rule saying here? The rule is saying that there should be only, there can be only one public class per source file. And the name of the source file should be same as for public class. But here, we are having, wait a second. Here we're having what? We're having two public class in the source file. So by the declaration rule, this is invalid, right? So let's try and compile it and see what compiler will tell us. Okay, let's save this. Okay, let's save. Let me make sure this is saved. Okay, save here. Okay, save. Let me delete this test class here. Let me compile it again, all right? So let's try and compile it and say Java C space test what dot Java. What do you see here? Compiler is telling us the error here. It say in line number 7, error, class home is public. All right. It said class home is public should be declared in a file named home.java. So you see that error is coming from compiler. So compiler will be able to compile this particular code. And what does the right compiler does? Compiler does two things, right? It checks the syntax. If as per the rule, if the compilation is as is written by the programmer, is as per the rule and the grammar of Java. You see that? So it checks it line by line. Now it's telling you about in this line number 7, okay, compiler is telling us in this line number 7 that there is an error. You see this line number 7, there is an error. The class home is published should be declared in a file named home.java. So you see that that's why it couldn't get any class generated from this particular Java file, test.java, because there's an error. Compiler could not even compile it. So JVM threw an error from that. Okay, again from the error from compiler. So now let's do this thing and make it right now. So let me remove this now and save it. Let me save it. So from this here now, if I should compile this particular .java file, how many class file am I going to get from this particular source folder? I have here test class, I have home class in this source folder. Okay. Now by law, by the rule is compiler is fine, right? So if I to compile this now, how many class file will I going to get from this particular execution from the .java file? Abraham, I want to say we're just 3 here.
Okay, just we have
if I should compile this to now, how many class file will be generated from this particular source folder? This .java file.
1.
If I compile this now, 1. Frank, what of you?
I think they might be busy. Maybe they are at work.
You say 1. Okay, let's compile this thing now. Say.
Okay.
If I compile this thing now.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. The compilation was successful because we actually compiler got it right. We got it right now. So there's no error here written. So yes. Now you see that now we have what? Home class and test class. Okay. 2 class is being generated. Okay. You have to look at what you did now. Look at your source folder. You have 2 classes in the source folder. Okay. Why we have 2 class file here is because the class file are created for the classes we have inside the source folder. You get that now?
Okay.
We get the class file for the classes that we have in the source file. Okay. We never get the class file for the source file. No. You get that?
Okay.
We get the class file for the classes that we have in the source file. We never get the class for the source file. No. If we have 2 classes, we have 2 classes here. How many classes do we have again?
2 classes.
2.
Classes and classroom.
With 2. What are your names?
Test class and home class.
So we have test class and home class. So we have 2 classes inside the source file.
Okay.
We have 2 classes, 2 class files. If we have 1 class inside the source file, you will get 1 class file after compilation. Okay. All right? Okay. If we have 10 classes, 10,000 classes inside the source file, after compilation, you will definitely have 10,000 or 10 different classes.
Okay.
And the name of the class file will be the same as the class available inside that source file. Like here now, what do we execute? We execute test class. We execute home class that are inside the what? Inside this folder.
Mm-hmm.
If we have sample class, we see sample class here. If we have Abraham class, we see Abraham class here. If we have New York class, we see New York class here. Any classes that are inside that source folder, after compilation, all of them will start generating here. Okay?
Okay.
So that's why we call it class file, because that file is created for that particular class. You get it now?
I get, yeah.
If you like, put class A. Okay? If you like, put class B. All of them will be generated. We have, when after compilation, we have big.class, A.class, home.class, test.class. All of them are coming out from one particular source file. That's why we call it class file, because that file is created for that particular class. So you might ask why class file is created. Why class file is created? Why do we have to generate? Why do you generate class file? Why do you generate this class file when we compilation? This is a common thing, right? You see that in our demo class when we talk about the illustration about GVM and all those stuff like that. Reason being that why we generate this class file we generated is that reason being that when we run any Java application, the responsibility to execute any Java application is of what? Of the what? Of the JVM.
Yeah.
And JVM asks for class file as an input. JVM cannot read source file. JVM cannot read anything. JVM doesn't read this thing, anything in human form. Okay? When compilation comes, when compiler comes into the picture, it converts it to bytecode, remember?
Yeah.
Then JVM will then come into the picture and convert it from bytecode to machine code and give you the output with the help of interpreter. GRE has two components inside GRE. You have JVM and what?
GRE.
No, GRE has important component,
Another
which is
important component. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
JVM has one thing that JVM does. It has one interpreter. With the help of interpreter, interprets a particular code. So when you compile your code, compilation comes into the picture, compile the code to bytecode, then JVM then convert it to what? From bytecode to machine code. And with the help of the interpreter, then it gives you the desired output. So that's what is happening here. I will have this class back because .java file is human readable form. We cannot processor does not understand human readable writings. Okay, all this you have written here, it does not understand it. So that's why compiler comes into the picture, convert it to bytecode. Then JVM now understand our bytecode, convert from bytecode to what? Machine code. That's what you can then see in the output. So that's why we have class files for your program, for your code to be executable. So JVM asks for class file as an input. JVM cannot read source file because JVM can read only bytecode. This is how Java developer has developed this Java. Okay, JVM can translate the bytecode into machine code, and JVM will provide you with the output. JVM cannot run Java file directly. Okay, so that's why we have class file being generated when we compile. Compilation comes in. All right.
Yeah.
Frank, you have any question, or which are you getting it? At least you're not in the
Yes,
class.
I'm following.
Any question?
Okay, Stanley, you talk about compiler does two things. You check the syntax, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what other one do you mention? You told us
case
you check the syntax.
they combine, they check the syntax as a rule and grammar of Java. Every programming language, every language has a grammar. English has a grammar. French has its own grammar. So what compiler does is you look at the syntax, the line, the syntax, if it's as per the rule, if you are written that particular program. If I put this in now, capital letter P, now it will throw an error. Okay. So compiler does all those things, compiles the codes line by line. Okay. Okay. Compilation compiles, check the syntax, these are the rule and of syntax of Java. Then it then combine two second thing it does, it then convert it to what? To byte code. That's what compiler does. It does two things. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So you can see what the third rule is saying, right? I must be only one public class in the source folder, and the name of that public class will be same as that of what? The class, the public class, the source file. All right. So, and it says there can be n number of public class. There can be n number of what? Sorry, there can be multiple non-public class. What this means, this will say that there must be default classes. Then if you go to this, if I go to this, okay, I should have saved that. Sorry. Okay, let me go to this, my source folder again. And let me have this as, let me have on that one, let me say class. Name of this class, let me say A class. A class. A class, B class, all these are what? And let me make this one to be, there's no public here. Okay. So we have here, okay, let me make A to be public. Now we have a test class, home class, we have test class, we have home class, we have A class, we have B class. Okay, let's make A class public. Okay, let's make A class public here. Sorry, let's make A class public. Is it going to be a source? Is it going to be a valid source folder or not a valid source folder?
It will be valid.
It will be valid. Frank, what of you? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 classes in the source file. Okay. So, and now I'm making this one to be what? To be public, the class 8.
It will be valid.
Invalid.
It's going to be valid, yeah.
Okay, going to be valid. So let me save this. Let me sure I save this one. Okay. Or you save this thing. Class A. And then I have class B. Save. Let me show again. Open this again. Okay, they're all here now. Okay, now I want to make class A to be public. Let me see. Okay, it's public. So you said it's going to be valid after compiler. Compiler is going to throw an error. JVM is going to throw an error, right?
No, it's
Abraham,
going to be valid
going
If it's
valid.
going to be valid, it won't throw an error.
Okay,
because it's just one public class.
Yeah.
okay. Let me remove this one so that it will be sure. This. Okay, let's go ahead and compile this again. Let's go ahead and compile this. I will say what Java C, right? Java C
Yeah.
test dot
No, if it is
Java.
test Java, it's not going to run. It's going to be invalid because
It will be
test
what?
because you are using test Java. If it should be A, I don't understand.
Because you've
asking you now.
changed, you've changed the source name.
Yes,
The
you
source
guys now
name.
coming now. You guys now coming now. That's why I'm asking the question. I say, is it good? Because why? Okay, let's one and say let's conclude. Okay, let's one. This is a Java C test dot Java. So what do you say?
No,
Oh,
first of all,
no.
you didn't put
Can't,
C.
I
can't
didn't put.
find mainstream.
So,
Can't
You didn't
find
put C.
okay, now I say line number 12. Class A is public. Should be declared in the words
Finance.
A dot Java.
Java. Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay. And see, that's what compiler is saying. That means it's going to be invalid because the name of the source file is what?
Class A.
Raji, it's
No,
changed.
the name of this source file. The name of this source file is what?
Text.java.
Yeah,
It says that
Java.
Java.
So, but we are saying we are using this as public. It's not supposed to be public.
Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be invalid because the name of the source file is text.java. But the public class you have there is
A.java. It should be A.java.
So it's class A. So therefore, the name of the source file should be A.java.
Java.
And if you try to compile this, we give you that compilation error. That's why we have to compiler is giving us this error. That this A should be a source, should be the name of that source file, not that text. So it's going to throw an error there. So if you then let's do it right. Let's go back to our source folder and then go back to the source folder. You see, it didn't compile anything here. So if you go back to this source folder and put this, let me save this. Then compile this. You see, so now tell me how many class files we're going to find from this particular, generate from this particular folder now.
5.
How many?
Let's go back to
we have to look at it to know.
I think it's 5 or so. A, B, C also. Then test.
Yeah, we have in our, okay, I'll show it to you. So we have 5, we have 4 classes in that source folder. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have A. As I told you, in a source folder, that class of that particular will be generated. Okay. So you have 4 classes generated from that particular source folder, which is the Java file. So those classes are generated. Okay. So we do not have any public class in here. So now let me rename this now. If I rename this, okay, let me say, let me do one more thing here. Let me say Frank. Okay. Let me say Frank. So let's compile this again. All right. Let's say Java what? T
space
test dot Java. What do you have here?
You have error.
That's error, right?
Yeah.
Why do you have this error?
F for a list of possible options.
What the compiler telling us here?
The file is not found.
File is not found. There's nothing file. There's no file test.java anymore, right? What we have here is what?
Frank also.
Frank.java. So he's saying you don't found that particular thing. That's why we're saying that the name of this particular, if we have before classes, okay? Now, let me go back to this folder now. Let me go back to this folder. This folder, we have public class, we have home class, we have all this. Now, let's remove this public, okay? Let's remove this public, all right? And save it. Let's remove this public and save this public. And wait for now, let me remove this Frank and let me say it's text. Okay, so let's compile this again. So am I going to have an error or not? No error, right?
Yes,
How
no
many
error.
how many classes are going to be generated from this source folder? How many classes are we going to generate from this after compilation?
The same class test, class A, class A and class B.
You see
right?
that? Yes. So you see what the third rule is saying. Say there can be n number of public class. There's no constraint that in any source folder there must be public class. Okay? There can be n number of non-public class. That means there can be default classes in a source file. All the source file here, all the classes in the source file, they're all default. There's no one that is public.
Yes.
Frank, can you get it? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm getting
Okay.
it. Even though I would catch up more when I go through the last
video
classes, but I'm following them.
Right. So you can see that the third rule, the fourth rule say that there can be n number of what? There can be n number of non-public class in a source folder. Okay. So there's no constraint that any source folder must be public class. No.
Must be public, yes.
Yes, there's an n number of class. So when we compile this, you can see compilation happens. Okay. All of them here, the public class, the classes we have here, they're all default classes. Class B, class A, class B, class, home class, test class, they're all default classes. So compilation will see happen. Okay. So in that situation now, the fifth rule is saying that for the files with no public class, for the files with default classes, the name of the source folder can be anything.
Can be anything, okay.
It can be anything. So you can name it to be test class, you can name it to be, can name it to
class,
any, it can be even in your class, it can be anything. Okay. So now if I come here and I said Java C New York.java, what's going to throw? File not found. There's no file like that.
Yeah.
Okay. But if I say test.java, you see, it's found. So if I come here now, you can name anything. If I come here now, if I come to the same source folder and I name it, because that file was not found. There's not a New York file because they named our source folder New York file, right? So if I come here and say save as, okay, and I name it as Frank.java, and I save it, okay? So if I go to my command prompt here now and said test.java, it said the same file not found. Okay, no wait. Should I compile it? Sorry.
Frank.java now.
No. I want to show you if I supposed to throw an error that's supposed to throw an error. Maybe I did not save this particular. This Frank.java. Okay. Save as. Okay, they're all default now. Okay, let me save it. Okay, the name of that particular default classes can be anything. All right. So let me say Frank Java. Okay, I've named it now. So I'll go to CMD now. Say enter. I say Java C test.java. You found that particular file. Say file not found.
Not found.
Okay.
No.
So you can name it anything. Anything you want to name. It mustn't be test or anything. You see why I'll do this? Because there was I want you to understand that there was test class there. There was home class there. There was B class there. So you can name it anything. Okay. So if I go here now and say Frank.java, right? You can see compilation happens because he found it. Right? So now you can see all your classes being generated. You say A class in that particular Frank.java. So that's what I'm saying. The fifth rule is saying that there can be in a public class, in a source file with non-public class. What do you mean by default? The name of the source file can be anything. Okay.
So can he also be Stanley? So can he also be
Yes.
one of the class name?
Anything.
Like
anything. Okay, let's do one thing. Okay, let's say B class, right?
Yeah, let's say B class. Yeah.
Okay. Let's rename this one. Said, okay, let me close to be sure. Go to this folder. Let's rename it. Let me rename this one to be B class. B.java, sorry. B.java. So let's just know that when you compile, it overrides everything back. So just be sure that it overrides everything back. And you don't worry about it. Because when you compilation, any class, anything will be overridden. If you have any class in that particular source folder before, it will override it and give you the exact class. Okay. So let's delete this one again and let's okay. So you say that if you can name anything, right? You say Java cd.java, right? Compilation say happen. Because in that folder, they are all public class.
Or default.
Default, sorry. They're all default classes. So it can be anything. That's what
Okay.
is saying.
Okay. Question. Can the class name be more than one word?
The class name can be more than one word? Yes.
Like
yes,
you say company name, like two words together.
Tesla.
Like class blue class blue color, something like that.
Class blue
color separated, not together.
No, you can't do that in Java.
Okay, all right. But can you do underscore? Like blue underscore color.
Blue
underscore color, yeah.
Do you went through the rules of naming identifiers.
That underscore will not go with it.
Do you went through of naming identifiers?
Not
The
yet.
rules in naming identifiers, which I taught you in last section. The rules in naming identifiers. What are those rules in naming identifiers? I know you went through this one, right?
Not yet, but I will go through it though.
Abraham, you went to the rules of naming identifiers.
Yeah, there is rules of, yeah, I went through the rules of naming identifier.
And what are identifiers? Identifiers are nothing but the name you use to
You
name
add as
any
label.
Java components.
Yeah,
These are Java components.
yeah.
Class, method, variables, which you go and do that, objects, you know, these are Java components. So first character of an identifier should be a what? Alphabetical character, A to Z, dollar symbol, or connection character. So Frank is now telling me that, can we make this one color underscore?
No, it can't possible. It's not possible.
Oh, he's right. Of course.
All right. I get it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said
I get it now.
class blue underscore color. Blue color, right? Okay. Now let's compile this. Let's compile this again. If you don't compile, the compiler will give, you check the syntax level, the compiler will not give you the output. Okay. So let's save. All right. Let's save. Yes, we save it to be sure. Okay. It's there, right? So
Yeah.
that's where I compile it. Then you go to the address bar, press CMD, enter. You say Java C space B dot what dot Java. What happens? Compilation happens. Rules are not recommended. Rules are mandatory. Okay? Rules are mandatory. Yes, is it look at underscore? Yes, look at dollar symbol underscore connection character. Nothing but underscore, the connection character.
Yeah.
Identifiers are nothing but naming. That's what you should name that Java component. Always go back to and take notes. You will not forget and practice. Okay, now that Frank brought it. You see that. You see, when you practice, and implement those rules, you start gaining understanding what this is all about. You see that we now have that class file of that particular generated from that particular Java file. Class of that class blue underscore color is being generated. So if you will see now, you're naming that Java component, which is class. You are naming it. This is blue color class. In naming any Java components. Okay. Now, if I do one more thing, now if I go to, this is not what I was supposed to tell you. I've done this thing in the past. You have a lot of things to do. We are just compiling. We are not executing that particular class. Okay. But our time is fast spent. We'll continue tomorrow. So let's see. Now look at where's our Java class there, Java source file, right? Let's see. Okay. Now open this one now. If I say
blue hyphen.
Let me do one more thing here.
You want to put the dollar sign?
It will accept dollar sign, of course.
I know
If you do blue hyphen, blue dash or dot, yeah.
Dot, yes. So let's save this again.
It's not accept dots. I don't think so.
Okay, let's see. Let's save it. And let's. You see what they tell you. Compiler is having a message from compiler. You say in line number 24, in error, you say this expected blue, you say class blue dot this. If we are making that error ourselves, let's see. Let's go with this. You see that compiler did not accept this. Because
But
by the rule to name an identifier, anything apart from dollar symbol, it does not accept that.
But if you,
Okay, let's go to dollar.
if you put a figure there, it will run.
Yes, I told you that's the third. That is what the third rule is saying.
Yeah.
Oh, go to your rules of naming your identifiers. I told you, look at it. After your first character, other characters can be combination of dollar symbol, underscore A to Z to this, then 0 to 9. After the first character. After first character, other characters can be combination of this. Okay? So first character of identifier should be a alphabetical character, A to Z. Okay? So
Yes.
I
Got
hope
it.
you understand what I'm saying. If you
Yeah,
put 9 yes,
yeah,
it
got
will
it, got
accept it. All right? It will accept it. Okay? It will accept it. So this is the blue color class. You can, if I put dollar here now, it also accept it. Okay? If I put that, its compilation will happen. Okay, let's say the actual one there. Okay, let's remove dollar, right? Okay. Compile it. I hope you can see that, Abraham.
Yeah.
All right. Anything dollar symbol. All right. Rules of that identifier is your name used to give your Java component. Java component, what are those Java components? Classes. Identifiers are nothing but the legal name of Java component. What are Java components? Variables. We're going to talk about variables. Classes. What are you talking about now today? We're talking about classes. And you are naming that test class. Blue cross class. Methods, names, all these are Java components. Interfaces, constants. Those are, so what are those rules you use to name those Java components? They're nothing but identifiers. You need to identify that this one is a test class. This one is a B class. This one is a home class. This one is blue dollar color class. Okay? And I put dot here. What happens? It gives me, because it said anything apart from what dollar symbol underscore, which is connection character, is not allowed. Any number or special character is not permitted. So take your notes, always practice. You will get constant conversant to it. I have a lot to talk to you today, but we'll continue tomorrow, okay? Let's end it for today. Any questions?
No question from me. Understand.
Uche,
So we're going to have the class tomorrow, right?
yes, Uche, you hope it's not boring to you today. Frank will elaborate more on you on that.
All right, Stanley, thank you. I would speak with him.
Okay. All right, let's end for today. I'll let you know if we're going tomorrow. Okay, so
Thank you.
it's good to see you tomorrow. Same time tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right.